And I'm a little biased, but I feel like we don't have to say much by way of introduction for East Forest to this crowd, but maybe you want to say more about yourself. How's that sound?
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks, Radha. Well, I go by East Forest. We met Ram Dass in 2018. For those of you I haven't met yet and haven't told any of these stories to. And it was sort of a dream it kind of came to us to potentially weave in Ram Dass into some music. And he's someone that was, like many of us, a teacher for me from afar, from his books and from his talks especially. And I had an idea of like, oh, I think it could be really, really beautiful to weave him in. And I wanted it to be Ram Dass at his point of wisdom. And he was in, this was in 2018, so it ended up being the last few years of his life. And we were fortunate enough to go out there and record and be in conversation. And he said some really amazing things that I thought fit so well to our times today, then and today. This point of transition we're in as a people, as a planet. And we made a record out of that came out in 2019 called Ram Dass. And then that turned into another record called Reworks, which you haven't heard. That's some amazing reworks by other artists of those songs. And then it also turned into a track called Sit Around the Fire, which was with John Hopkins and myself and Ram Dass. And that was fairly recent. And then even better for me, people ask me, they're like, what was it like making this, or meeting Ram Dass, or having it be created? And I say, to be totally honest, the process feels very alive. And I think it feels very alive for me because I have the great honor and blessing of being able to hit buttons, and Ram Dass comes booming through different rooms and spaces into ears all across our country, around the world, wherever I am able to perform. And feeling like a very small ambassador of Ram Dass's words. I know all of us here are familiar with Ram Dass, but imagine what it's like to play Ram Dass and someone out there has never heard of him, and they feel these intense emotions, and then afterwards they come up and say, who's that dude? Well, I want to write that down. And we write it down, and I can just see the journey unfolding and fractalating to more of their friends and more of their people, and this journey of love, this journey of walking each other home. And I do think about why, really, why is that important? And no, it's beautiful and it warms our heart, but why does that matter? And one thing that's really special is this combination of Ram Dass with music, because we all know that music is powerful and beautiful and the most present it's ever been on this planet ever. I mean, truly, it's in our pockets, almost every song ever written. And it's almost like asking a fish what water is. We use it as a tool almost unconsciously all the time. But what if we could turn our perspective very simply, very subtly, to use it a bit more consciously? Because music has this strange ability, even if you just try to zoom out and think about what is music? Why is it that we have music and it can enliven such emotion in us? Accepting that as itself, you think about a film. A film is difficult to have an emotional weight to or connect to you emotionally without music. We use music when we feel down, to almost get into those feelings, or if we want to feel excited and enlivened, we use music to do that. We use music in ceremonies. We use music for births, for deaths, for weddings. We sing happy birthday. We all have the ability to sing. We all have the ability to create song and to join in that together. And I think there's some kind of ability for music to open something in us internally that helps open a doorway of connection to the non-dual, to the mystery, to the infinite. It helps awaken us into those parts of us, like our own inherent wisdom. And so what I want to do together today in keeping Ram Dass's words very alive, is to create something together and not just go through maybe exactly how I've performed these or could in the past, but to say, what if we use that as a template, and with our own attention and a cultivation of a particular attention and space here today, let's see what wants to emerge, and we'll experience that together. Now, how is that done? It's as simple as like being present, really listening and letting all of those feelings, whatever is coming up, and welcoming it just as a gift to say, all is welcome here. All is welcome here. Sort of like Lama Tsoltran said, we can hold it all. And there is one new Ram Dass, or I should say new, meaning I haven't featured it before, and I don't think it's been in music before, sample of Ram Dass talking where he talks about this that I want to play today, and I've never played with it. I found it just before I came because it was essentially like an alternate take for what we used for Sit Around the Fire, that sample, but I had this other one that I presented and I forgot about it, and we ended up using the one that you hear in Sit Around the Fire, but I had this other one. It's a different subject, and it's about us being able to hold it all. It's so perfect from what we just heard. This idea that you might think you might break if you kind of go there, but you won't. And we have the ability to be this transmission of this energy and let it flowing through us. So by allowing that flow to happen, grounding it and just feeling it and being present with it today, we can see what wants to emerge. And I believe that that emergence is valuable in itself. That beauty, that moment of creation, that co-creation together, may be far more than enough. Maybe that's the point of creation, is that we can create and celebrate and create beauty and feel inspired that has some kind of ripple effect. Like my heart tells me that to be true. That's just my experience. But I want to thank you then for being with me today to make this journey together. Does that sound okay? Yeah? All right. So we'll just dive into this. Let's begin just by grounding and arriving. Perhaps closing your eyes if that feels right to you. Just taking a few breaths in and out, noticing where you are. Very good. All is welcome here today. In the name of love, in the name of peace, in the name of truth, in the name of creation. At one of the last retreat that Radha and I were at with Ram Dass, I remember he was on stage and he was wheeled out, he was looking at the room. There was a long pause and he said, I see this room and I see souls. And I think if we all look around the room now, we also see brave souls. Everyone in this room, there's a part of you that knows something more beautiful is blossoming and can blossom into this world. You know it. And part of you coming here and putting your resources and time to be here is because you're part of that blossoming. You're willing just to lean forward into that. So thank you for being brave souls. Thank you for leaning in.
Our karma is our mind. And the mind stands in the way of a clear view of God. Our minds give us clouded perceptions. This incarnation has in it individuality. Individualism leads to war and anger and insecurity and fear. Souls come from God. The soul takes birth, takes incarnation to learn. Our perception of the soul is love, 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 love. You love fellow souls. I love things. I love my wheelchair. I love my pain. I love you all. I love the whole universe. I love everyone by inhabiting the soul. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Yeah. You're a guru. 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 Even if you have never met your guru is there. Everybody has a guru. You're a guru. You're a guru. If you don't think you have a guru, I'll lend you mine. Before I realized that he was here, I felt I was the captain of my ship. You're a guru. Now, he's the captain of my ship. I surrender. You're a guru. You're a guru. You're a guru. You're a guru. Okay, perfect. You're a guru. 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 You're a Okay, perfect.
best practice to be free is to be free. That's the practice. To start to just appreciate just the way it is. Most people are afraid that if they look at what is, they will break. It'll be too much for you. And I would say it is too much for who you think you are. It is not too much for who you are. And you realize that who you think you are can't bear it. And it forces a connection to the deeper part of being, where all is. An embracing of everything as one thing, that out of that comes the compassionate next moment. Out of it arises an action. We are part of the family of compassion. I invite you to examine the myths you live with. To look at life as a curriculum. We are interdependent. If, per some strange chance, you should happen to get lost into your drama sometime in the future again, don't.
Death is a ceremony in which one takes off one pair of clothes and adopts a new one. That's from the soul perspective. From the ego, death is a stopping point. It's the end of the ego. The ego sees death as suffering. And the soul sees death as the awakening of a new world, a new perception. So you should identify with your soul in life. That will be the best thing for you to do to anticipate death. It's your sadhana in life. It's your sadhana in life. Your sadhana prepares you for a upbeat dying. Your sadhana prepares you. Death is a ceremony trees, grasses, water, sun, stars, moon, clouds, rain, all are our friends, are us. Nature embraces us, and we embrace nature. We are nature. We are the trees and the clouds and the waters. When you hug a tree, you're hugging yourself. We are human beings. Human beings are part of nature. When you're seeing the ocean or the lake or the river, you're seeing yourself. Nature is a manifestation of God. In that manifestation, it's love all the way. The soul takes birth, takes incarnation to learn. Our perception of the soul is love, 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 love.
I'm going to close out with a rendition of that Sit Around the Fire We Work, thanks to John Hopkins. And you'll hear the longer Ram Dass talk from the 70s at a Presbyterian church when he was very tapped in, full-blown heart open, as you'll hear right away. And I want to thank Love, Serve, Remember, and all of you for cultivating this space today and continuing to keep this alive through the music, through these ceremonial listening experiences. Thank you so much.
Pain, pleasure, loss, gain, fame, shame. Pain, pleasure, loss, gain, fame, shame, life, death, good, evil, loss, gain, pleasure, pain, fame, shame, pleasure, pain, loss, gain, fame, shame, here, there, now, then, pleasure, pain, life, death, beyond all polarities, I am. Let the judgments and opinions of the mind be judgments and opinions of the mind, and you exist behind that. Ah, so. Ah, so. It's really time for you to see through the absurdity of your own predicament. You aren't who you thought you were. You just aren't that person. And in this very lifetime, you can know it. Right now. The real work you have to do is in the privacy of your own heart. All of the external forms are lovely. But the real work is your inner connection. If you're quiet when you meditate, if you truly open your heart, just quiet your mind. Open your heart. Quiet the mind, open the heart. How do you quiet the mind? You meditate. How do you open the heart? You start to love that which you can love and just keep expanding it. You love a tree, you love a river, you love a leaf, you love a flower, you love a cat, you love a human. But go deeper and deeper into that love. Till you love that which is the source of the light behind all of it. Behind all of it. You don't worship the gate, you go into the inner temple. Everything in you that you don't need, you can let go of. You don't need loneliness, for you couldn't possibly be alone. You You don't need greed because you already have it all. You don't need doubt because you already know. Confusion is saying, I don't know. But the minute you are quiet, you find out that in truth you do know. For in you, you know. Plane after plane will open to you. I want to know who I really am. It's as if in each of us, there once was a fire. And for some of us, there seem as if there are only ashes now. But when we dig in the ashes, we find one ember, and very gently we fan that ember. Blow on it, it gets brighter. And from that ember we rebuild the fire. The only thing that's important is that ember. That's what you and I are here to celebrate. That though we've lived our life totally involved in the world, we know. We know that we're in the Spirit. At first, that still small voice, that tiny ember, is overshadowed by the incredible pressures, desires, attachments, possessions, collections of the world, of the marketplace. The ember gets stronger. Flame starts to flicker a bit. And pretty soon you realize that all we're going to do for eternity is sit around the fire. We're going back into the Hridayan, the cave of the heart. And the only beings that will sit around the fire with us are those who recognize the Spirit. And the confusion in many of you comes from the recognition of that pull and the realization that that pull doesn't seem to fit in with the life you've designed for yourself. Even a good life, even a yogic life, even a communal life, even an economically simple life, because your life was built out of despair. Out of a feeling that though you had touched the Spirit, you could never be the Spirit. Though you had touched love, you could never be love. But your unworthiness has led you to sell yourself short. feel in your heart now your own beauty. Allow for a moment yourself to recognize that the light of the universe can pour through you. You, just who you are. Funny, we get educated, we go to therapists, but we really don't ever believe we could change. Change in the most profound sense, that where in the core of ourselves we felt ugliness, there is suddenly beauty. Where in the core of ourselves we felt unworthiness, there is suddenly purity, spirit. Who could have believed that you could be that beautiful? Did you believe it? Did you believe that you were a living spirit? Did you believe it? Did you believe that that little flickery ember you felt now and then could become the flame that would consume every impurity within you and leave you like a new baby? Get closer and closer and closer.
Loving awareness. I am 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 loving awareness. Huh. I'm loving awareness. I am loving awareness.
Thank you very much.